Mental health and failure within the NFT space. Love it. This will be a 20-minute panel. We'll get our big red. Good to see you.
All right. How's everybody doing? Good. Yeah. We got some energy. I think we're two down, so it's just going to be me and Kumo holding it down. But we were taught. Well, first of all, thank you. Fun fact: I showed art next to her in Art Basel. We had our art right next to each other, so that's pretty cool. Good to see you. We were talking backstage, and we're like, how do we want to operate this? And we decided that we're both big fans of Twitter Spaces, Clubhouse. That's sort of like how I got into the space, and I guess a lot of us were like, let's just kind of do it like that. It won't be super official. It'll be kind of go with the flow.
Very chill.
Yeah,
very chill.
Very chill. So I'll just do a quick intro for myself. My name is Alpert. I'm an artist in the NFT space. I do illustration, stream of consciousness stuff. That's me standing in front of my apartment wall. I do murals like that, and I draw a lot of custom sneakers and shoes like that. So got into the space as an artist while I was working full-time at Universal Music Group. So I was working in the music industry and doing my art on the side. Discovered the app Clubhouse, met amazing artists, really connected with people like we were talking about earlier. And this past summer, I started talking to the company One Of. They make music NFTs, founded by Quincy Jones and a few other people. And they brought me on as the director of their creative. So all the drops we've done since we launched in September, I'm kind of like the person who finds the visual artist for the musicians we work with. And we did drops. We started with our drop with Doja Cat. I see, hey, wait. We started with Doja Cat. We did NFTs for the Grammys, a lot of big athletes. Now recently we have a deal with eBay and Notorious B.I.G. collection this week and next week. So that's me. I'm going to let Kumo introduce herself, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Cool. Thank you for that. So I'm Kumo. Nice to meet you all. I'm a founder of Kumo's World Project. And we are a project that launched last year in November. And we've been really, I guess, in the space with the Twitter Spaces, talking about mental health and just trying to educate people and to spread love and kindness is really kind of what our message is. And we are a story-based project, so we tell a lot of stories, and we want to use this medium as a way to, I guess, inform people and educate them about the NFT space, as well as spread love and kindness and the message that we want to do today, talking about the mental health. And yeah, I guess
we'll go from there.
We'll go from there.
Yeah, so since it's just the two of us, I guess I'll kind of bounce questions back and forth between the two of us. I can get into sort of my work with mental health and mental health awareness. That's a big thing for me in my art. But first, I guess I'll ask, why is your project focused on mental health? What brought you to work towards that?
I guess, I first started NFTs last year in April, and I came in as a one-of-one artist, and when I came in, it was a really overwhelming space because you don't know anyone, and you go in and you go Twitter, and I was just Googling or hashtag searching NFTs, and I got a stream of just shill posts, buy my NFT, buy this, buy that. And I was thinking, surely there's a community out there that you can join and be part of and not just kind of shill post kind of thing. And it wasn't so easy to find. I think now is a lot more accessible because there's a lot more projects and a lot more people are talking a lot more now on Twitter. And then I guess I started off then in different communities, and it was really kind of hard to fit in sometimes. You kind of have to, be a certain way, talk about certain things, and sometimes it's not so easy to click with people. And so I just wanted to create a space then. I was like, well, wouldn't it be really cool to use my art and also create a community that I think would be a space where people can call home and that they don't feel like they have to fit in and that they're just accepted as they are, because sometimes that's really hard to find. And we really wanted to, I guess, do that.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. I guess I actually kind of got in the same way, you know. So like I got in as an artist as well, and was attracted to through Clubhouse meeting all of these other visual artists who were kind of getting empowered by Web3 and the NFT space. And you know, the shills, it is common, and like people are trying to make money, and I'm all for that. You know, a lot of artists who weren't able to make money with their art are doing so now, or have been doing so. But I agree, like what really got me into it is when I started really connecting with artists. It was in the middle of COVID, you know, like that this happened, and we were all locked down. So that's, I think, why I got on Clubhouse, to start talking to people, and you start meeting people from all over the world, making art, you have that in common. And you know, that was sort of my angle to understanding NFTs and Web3 is through other artists. My first mental health project was through Clubhouse. I met the singer Aloe Black, and he sang on Avicii's song "Wake Me Up." Avicii, very famous DJ, he took his own life a few years back and struggled with mental health issues. So on the anniversary of his death, Aloe wanted to do a NFT project with my art, and we worked with the Avicii Foundation, and that was all kind of about suicide prevention and mental health awareness and stuff like that. So that was sort of my first foray into like mental health, and that was also like, it really kind of flipped a switch for me, because prior to that I was selling my art and making money, which was really cool. You know, I hadn't really been doing that to a really large degree. But once I was like raising money for a cause that I was passionate about, like mental health is a big thing for me. I've struggled with depression and anxiety, and like so have many artists. So that was something we all kind of like bonded over. Once I was raising money for that through art with like, you know, a singer who I really admire, like I was like, damn, like this is like big. And it's since then that I've really kind of like gone all in, and I've done other projects I'll talk about again, but I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, actually, sorry, I realized I didn't really answer your question earlier. I was like, panic, don't have this PFP to hide behind. So, yeah, no, like definitely the NFT space, because I was like, okay, let's bring it back to the topic, which is the mental health in this NFT space and its future. So, as we all know, like it's really stressful in this space, especially like during the bull markets, the bear markets, like we don't know what is going to happen, right? So, and we're always trying to sell or buy in at the right time, and there really isn't this right time, and then with all that comes the stress. And so in January, Kumo's World actually set up, I guess like a month-long, would you say, it wouldn't be an event, but it was basically where we called it Giving Back January, where I started the initiative with several other projects, so like Kaiju Kings was in it, Funkles, World of Women, and some other projects as well. And so the whole idea behind it was you give back to yourself as well as giving back to other people, but it's not even as a monetary value, it's just giving back, like you can do it through love, you can be kind. And so every day there was 3 things that you had to, even for like 5 seconds or 5 minutes or whatever it is, to do something kind for yourself, do something loving for yourself or for someone, and also to take a break, I think it was. And it was just to try and kickstart people's year off in a good way so that you're not stressing, because I think in January was like the bull market, so that's where everyone was trying to, you know, buy into all the projects and flip them. And then you have the bear, because I think it was like a bit of a bear market before that. And so people were already kind of, let's just say, mentally not.
It's a lot going on. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Ups and downs.
Exactly. And so I think people forget to take time out in the space because you're on Discord all the time and you're grinding and you just want to be part of everything. And so it's really important to take a step back and just, we say go out and touch grass, you know, because you're sitting indoors all day. I mean, maybe it was a bit difficult during COVID times, especially if you're not near nature, but it is important to, you know, to remember that whatever happens, it will still be there. Hopefully it's not a rug pull or anything, but, you know, you can take a day off, a week off, or a weekend off, and then come back to it. Like Choffer, one of our artists, like he took 6 months off, and then he came back, and I mean, we're still here. So yeah, it's just, especially in the future when NFTs are getting bigger and there's just going to be a lot more pressure to do things and to be there, because people think, oh, FOMO. FOMO is such a huge thing in the space that you think, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to miss out, so I have to be there all the time. But you don't, right? You can take time for yourself.
It's probably, yeah, better for you if you're not there all the time.
Yeah.
Ultimately. Yeah, I really related to what you said, because kind of like bringing it back to the end of my last point is like, I got really excited, you know, when the project started doing well and my art was really selling, and, you know, I got the job at one of, and like I'm working on these big projects. It's very exciting. It's very like, you know, you feel like you're part of a movement and making a difference that, you know, it's like the double-edged sword of being passionate about something. Like, it's great when you're passionate about what you do and, you know, you're thinking about it all the time, but at the same time, it can be very exhausting. It can be, you know, not necessarily conducive to you feeling good, and maybe even like your work can get affected. So I'm still trying to find, you know, the right times to take a break, because I feel like we're kind of on this like moving train, and like I don't want to, you know, I want to keep riding it. But at the same time, like, it's just, I don't know, it's just work, and like also so much of this is kind of like relationships and like, as everybody always says, community, like the people in your life, and you want to be like good to yourself so that you can be good to them. So I guess it is really important to consider all that.
Because then if you get sick, then you're going to be taking time off anyways, right? So you might as well take it off
on your own terms.
Yeah, because sometimes, you know, when you're, is it breakdown? When you get to the stage where it's almost like you've gone past that stage, it's better to stop before you get there. And I also think it's important for people to talk about mental health in this space, because people don't really talk about mental health. They're like, oh, let's talk about mental health. Like, oh, is everything okay? Is this like, you know, there's something wrong
Stigma.
with you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's almost like, oh, if we're going to talk about mental health, it's almost like you have this preconception that they're depressed or there's something really wrong or they need some sort of help. But it can just be like, oh, how are you today? You know, I'm not feeling too great. But it's not like it has to be like a very serious talk. It can be, and I think if, like, regardless of how serious, whatever it is important to talk about it, because usually it's when people bottle it all up that's when it gets worse. So every Discord channel or project usually have like a channel where you can focus on like mental health and like mental talks. I guess people can have discussions there, and I guess that was another thing that that our initiative was trying to do in January, because back in January there wasn't a lot of projects that had this mental health channel. So when the other projects, I think World of Women and Kaiju's and all the other projects that did finally open a mental health channel, Lucky's theirs as well, they said that, you know, people started talking in there, because before, sometimes you don't want to talk about it in the general chat because people are just talking about other stuff. But then when you're in the mental health, it's almost like you're in that kind of mindset to talk to people. So I think, yes, sorry.
No, that's great, and it's good that the projects were getting into that. I didn't even know that, you know, they were opening those spaces. I say this a lot, and it's kind of cliched, but it's like that idea of like it's okay to not be okay. It's such a, you know, exciting space, and everybody wants to talk about how much money they're making and, you know, what big brand and celebrity they've made art for, and that's awesome. You know, like people are getting opportunities they never did before, but as we said earlier, there's so many ups and downs to all of this too, so it's okay to like not be, you know, like, yo, I just like had the biggest drop and it sold out in 2 seconds, and like, and if anything, it's like, I don't know, like being transparent about, you know, being an artist is hard, you know, like NFTs and Web3 has definitely made it easier, but like being an artist, especially a visual artist, like in supporting yourself is really tough, and like even with Web3 getting collectors who support you, you know, it's still, you have to work so friggin' hard. You know, you have to work so hard. And then a lot of us, like myself, you know, I'm also very focused on a full-time job. So that, you know, in addition to being an artist and just like, you're just working all the time. Luckily, it's like, you know, something that you hopefully care about and makes you happy. And like the art can be an outlet. And that's actually something I want to touch on, is like art for kind of like therapeutic reasons. I think that art can be like really, really helpful for your mental health, and I always like encourage people to try it, even if they don't consider themselves artists or like they're bad at drawing. Like I've done some workshop type things where I like just encourage people to kind of, it's like doodling essentially, just because it could be an outlet, you know, for people.
I think that's really important as well because, you know, like I always say to my community guys, I'm like, there is no such thing as I'm not an artist, I'm not a creative, because you don't get a child saying, oh, sorry, I'm not going to draw because I don't draw, you know, I'm not a good artist. Like they haven't been told yet that they're not an artist or that their drawing is not good enough and that they should do something else. Because somewhere along the way in the journey of someone who said that they're not an artist, someone said to them, you should probably do something else. You know, art is not your thing, you know, maybe something else will be better for you. So art is just an expression of someone's creativity, and we have somehow lost it. Not all of it, but you know, people don't create as much anymore because they're just so, I guess, driven into that adult. That you have to be an adult, you have to be responsible, and you have to do this. And we forget that we're all big kids at the end of the day. You know, we haven't. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm still a big kid, and we try and encourage that with Kumo's World. You know, I keep saying to them that we're all big kids at heart, and that's how Kumo's World is. Letting your inner child free, like express yourself, you know? Because I think, like you said, art is really good therapy because it's almost like meditation, because when you're doing art, you're like so focused on it and everything else around you almost like doesn't exist for, I guess, people who actually do art, as opposed to think that, oh, I'm just going to do a stick man, that's as far as it goes. But it can just be like finger painting, it could be doing whatever, writing. There's so many different mediums of creating art that people think, when you think art, it's like, oh, it's a painting or a drawing or something else. But there's so many different ways of doing creativity, things like that. Sorry.
No, that's great. I agree completely, and I think that's really important, especially at these NFT things. I'll meet people and, you know, be like, you know, you're an artist, you draw, like that makes you an artist. I think that everybody who's involved in this space is being creative in a sense, like the developers. I think it's super creative. Writing code and developing UX or whatever is extremely creative. Marketing and socials is an art for sure, you know, like writing obviously. And having that sort of creative perspective, I think there's like kind of different levels to it, but I think is helpful for like any kind of, you know, endeavor you're doing, especially in Web3, because like we're kind of building this thing, so you kind of have to think outside the box, and also like things are much more possible with this because it's also new. Like, you know, we'll be putting together a project like, oh, we should get this person to collab with this person, and then we'll get this brand involved, and like it can happen because people are like down to collaborate and work together, or they have been the past couple years. So it's like a very exciting time to be a creative and just kind of own that, I think.
Yeah, I think the whole Web3 space is so good for people because I say during COVID time, that's kind of when I got into it as well, where you get to connect with people that you wouldn't otherwise connect with outside of your home or in your vicinity, right? So with the NFT space, you can reach so many communities of people, and it's so, I guess it's like refreshing, but also it allows people to feel more connected, even though some people say, you know, you're just in front of a computer and stuff, but some people find it really hard to like one-on-one talk to people as opposed to type something out. And I think in the future of the NFT space and this mental health, I'm looking at the timer, it's like ticking, but like definitely I think there's going to be ups and downs for sure, because one positive thing, or not one, many positive things, but one of the positive things would be that you have a wider like community, people that you can reach out to help, if anything, or to talk about it, and you have support from communities and stuff like that. And especially with the NFT project growing, and more projects are coming out, so more people are getting to know the different projects, and also then to, I guess, be able to, sorry, I will stop.
Wrap it up.
Oh, 3, 2, 1. Sorry about that.
Finish your thought. Finish your thought.
Yeah, no, I just think that, you know, it's going to be really good for people that are struggling to reach out to other people in the end, like in the mental health kind of issues. And so the NFTs have given us all a voice, and I think we're going to be using it well of like, you know, helping charities or reaching out to other people and just trying to do good in this space. And I think NFT projects have allowed us to do that, because before you're just a one-man whereas now you have like groups of people that want to make the world a better place. So sorry.
Awesome.
All right,
awesome.
that was great.
Thank you both. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Kumo. We appreciate it. All right, this has been an epic day. This has gone 9 a.m. We've been going strong. We haven't even stopped. We are not stopping. We're keep going, and we've got even more amazing panels and talks coming up, not the least of which is our friend Alex Gomez, who he got somehow deleted off the schedule, but we fixed it. So he's up now. Please welcome Alex Gomez. Big round of applause. Let's go.